Seems like just yesterday when you and Patsy were in your cradles. You up and left for college and married. Mama, Flannery warned that her divorce was not on the table for discussion. Speaking of time, Mama pointed to the old electric daisy clock hanging on the wall. This morning is getting away from us. We haven't even made the punch. Why don't you start on that before you change into your dress? Flannery glanced at the kitchen clock and then down at her daddy's old wind-up Zenith wristwatch on her arm, finding a solace and satisfaction in her cheating. Ever since Flannery was born, she had been stealing time same as she did Patsy's pearls back then, setting all the wall clocks and wristwatches exactly 8 minutes ahead. And when Flannery visited Mama every year for the fake birthday celebration, she'd make sure to do the same to her clocks, even though Mama fussed the day into tomorrow trying to break her of it. Mama always said, "It's the devil's doings, and it doesn't make sense to thieve from the Lord's hours when you'll just have to pay him back." But that's not what her daddy had taught her. Nuh-uh. The very thought of that final reckoning day was why Flannery stayed precisely 8 minutes ahead, looking over her shoulder for those lagging minutes when the devil might try to collect. Flannery followed Mama's most hopeful gaze to the wall. Mama would track those circling black hands most of the day, keeping a vigilant eye on the time and the foyer, too, first to move the hands back to their proper time, and, second, to welcome Patsy when she burst through the door. Several times Mama caught Flannery looking to the foyer and gave her an optimistic grin. Instead of smiling back, Flannery turned away. She wanted to believe, but after all these years there was nothing left, just a plait of hope that had been twisted, rubbed too many times, tangled into a useless, knotted wish that would never unravel. Flannery knew the quiet morning would slip into a quieter afternoon, and soon the lull of evening would gather a cold, silent darkness. Tonight she would find Mama tear-stained, asleep at the kitchen table, plumb wore out from watching and waiting. Flannery would rouse her Mama from the chair, take off her glasses, and convince her to go to her room, helping her to drag her aged bones and aching heart to bed until the next year, the next time Patsy's birthday rolled around. Time. If only Flannery could snatch some of it back for them. "Flannery," Mama pulled her to the task and pointed to Patsy's strawberry cake. "Are you sure I can't make you one? Or maybe bake your favorite, cherry pie? It's your birthday, too, you know." "I do love your cherry pie, but this'll do, Mama." She plucked an orange from the fruit bowl and rolled it in her hands. "Doc says no added sugar for us borderline diabetics." Mama picked up the cake knife and nodded, knowing her youngest had inherited the sugar problem and other troublesome traits from her daddy. The diabetes took him from us too soon, before the twins' 14th birthdays. She told everyone the half-truth. Mama hummed Happy Birthday while shining the blade with the tail of her apron. "Happy birthday, dear Patsy." She plucked the words, sang them soft and warbly. "This is the year, baby girl. Flip on the radio. Let's have some music." 1972 didn't feel any different than last year for Flannery, or the one before that, or any of the others. She clicked on the radio, turning the knob to get a clear station. Cocking her head, Flannery caught the announcer saying something about a rust bucket being pulled out of the Kentucky River downstream from the Palisades. "This morning when a fisherman found, near Johnson's boat dock." She stretched an ear closer to the radio speaker and turned up the volume. "Shedding light on the decades-old disappearance, Sheriff Hollis Henry of Glassferry went on to confirm the mud-caked Mercury." Mama's knife clattered on the sunlit linoleum, hammering its glint across the walls and pinning the clock's slow, sweeping hand into the final, stolen moment. Chapter 2. Patsy, June 1952. The day swept its last hour into the cemetery. There, alongside the forgotten churchyard and the washed light at the end of Ebenezer Road, she'd buried her secret. Just months before, Patsy Butler hadn't any secrets to keep. Not adult ones, anyway, and only the kind an almost 16-year-old would primp and parcel. An admirer's note passed in history class, a young boy's wanting touch.